Hi, good morning, everyone. It's Alan again with Themis Farms. Glad you could spend some time with me. I have a new little twist on a bird that's been around a while, and I really want to talk about the American Bresse or the Bresse chicken. You've heard all the stories that it has a finer bone structure and thinner skin and the rest of it. This video is really going to be about my experience with the bird. We've had the bird for 2, 3 years now. We're a couple of generations in. We kind of understand the bird better than we ever used to. And we went into this breed with a lot of high hopes, like everybody did, and had some real disappointments down the line. That led us to line breeding. And we've gotten a lot better flock. We have a lot better bird than we once did. But this is more, I'm going to approach this video from the perspective of a chef. This bird, let me give you a little background, okay? I'm currently on a yacht. I am a yacht captain when I'm not running a farm. I'm semi-retired as far as yachting goes, but I still work on boats. And so that gave me a background working for the last 25 years with chefs. So I worked with some of the finest chefs in the world. I know their tricks, how they play with stuff, how they work with food product, and my love and my passion for cooking over the years, people call me a chef. That's not correct. I'm a guy who really likes to cook. I never went to school to become a chef. However, there's not a lot of things that I haven't made or prepared or seen prepared. So that's a little bit of background on who I am as far as cooking goes. This bird, I'm going to just speak to its pluses and minuses throughout the whole conversation. This bird, in my opinion, if you're a person who's looking for 10 pounds of poultry for 8 ounces of feed, or it's not that bird. This is not the bird for you. This bird is amazing at all the things that it says in the brochure. Frankly, I mean, it's a great foraging bird. They're very independent. They're not mean birds. The roosters aren't mean. They're easy to have around the farm, and they really love to free range, and they're very efficient at doing that. Where their downsides are for most people is if you're used to going to Costco or some bulk store and getting $1.99 whole chicken, per pound, this bird is not going to compete with that. That's not what this bird's forte is. This bird is amazing in its flavor, but in my humble opinion, it must be slowly cooked. Now, I've tried this bird numerous different ways. I've prepped it a bunch of different ways. And I will tell you that it has to be dealt with properly. That being said, that's true of almost every animal that we eat. There has to be some preparation. It has to be where you raise it and the way you finish the bird. All is very important. The finishing of this bird has to be at least 2 weeks. Basically, milk product or some, whey, protein finishing of this bird with grain. And it can't be running around the pasture while you're finishing this bird. That's where the marbling comes in on this bird. This bird if you just free range this bird, it's not going to have that marbling in it. Okay, this is a process. Okay, a lot of people that are interested in Bresse kind of already know those facts. So what I want to really address is the preparation, the butchering, the preparation, and what has to be done. I've cooked this thing numerous different ways now, and in my opinion, it's best in any form of, you could do it in a crock pot if that's what you want to do, but anything that retains moisture, okay? A Dutch oven situation. If you don't know what that is, you should look it up, but it needs to be covered. It needs to be cooked with liquid. Now, if you look at the way the French prepare this bird, they have it down to an art form. They've been eating this bird for hundreds of years now, and they've nailed it. And all you need to do, I know I make it sound so easy, all you need to do is learn how they prepare this bird. We also have to remember too, as I'm an American, so we're used to larger, big, thick, plump birds. This bird is really prepared to be one bird on a plate for presentation and for moistness and tenderness and deliciousness, which this bird completely achieves when, again, doing the right steps to make it happen. This bird is about preparation. This bird is about the way you finish it and the way you prepare it. This is something I have finally, I can't say that I've mastered it, but I had a friend over who's a fellow farmer, and he also grows chickens. And I prepared this with, a standard roasting process. This is not rocket science. Onions, garlic, shallots, white wine, butter, the typical French style of roasting, country farm style of this bird. And he, in the middle of the meal, mentioned, "This is the finest bird I've ever eaten." Now, I don't know that I would go that far, but it was as good a piece of chicken as I've had in a long time. That being said, I've prepared 2 or 3 of these birds that, wow, that was chewy. And it's typically in the thigh that I've noticed that it's very hard to get this bird delicate. But slow roasting, time, and a moist pot improves this bird immensely. Now let's talk about some of the characteristics about the bird. The bird is fine bones with thin skin. And you would say, well, okay, that I understand that. I've seen that in a million different videos. But I'm going to tell you what that means to the bird. The thin skin in particular, I want to go over. It's a thin white skin. Very key factor is the color of the skin. Many chickens have a very, very thick, or hide almost, and it's yellow, and it's completely saturated in fat. And you say, well, fat's a good thing. We want all of that, right? But what you really want in any animal when preparing it is you want that clear, translucent white fat. And that's the skin of this bird. This bird has a nearly translucent skin. You can see the bones right through it. And most people say, well, gosh, I want a little more fat on my bird than that. No. What you really want is that white, pure, melting fat. And that's what this bird offers. So if you can appreciate that and learn how to work with that, well, you have magic in a pot. You can do that. It takes some time, and it takes the desire to learn how to cook this bird properly. I'm going to probably do some videos on actually cooking the bird and showing you exactly what it is, but I haven't seen anybody really address the physics of this bird in the preparation. Now, it's bones. If you're trying to make bone stock, this probably isn't the bird for you. I mean, sure, of course you can do that. But in our case, this bird's going to work really well because we like to use every part of the bird that we grow on our farm. And these bones will actually break down very easily so we can feed them to our dogs. Okay? Huge benefit there. But the beauty of the fine bone is that it's not a thick carcass, large carcass. It's all tender meat when you get it right, and very little carcass to the bird. So that enables it to take on seasonings and flavors, and whatever you put around it allows it to go into the meat of the bird. A little technical, but I think you understand that. I hope that makes sense to you. This bird takes on whatever you want to put it in, whatever you want to put it to. This is not, sorry about the jet flying over. This is not a bird that is a quick fry on both sides and you're done. This is a slow cooked bird process. I hope that addresses the cooking of it. I don't really want this video to be too long, but it's a great little bird, and I understand why the French call it their finest cuisine. This thing, if you master the cooking technique of this bird, you will be rewarded in many, many ways. Okay, so again, this was just a cooking prep to a cooking video that I'm going to do about how to cook a breast chicken, and that'll be coming up next, and you'll be able to find it on this site. This is themisfarms.com, and you can look us up. We have a great website. Please look us up there, and there's going to be more videos coming about the preparation of this bird, about the final growing of the bird in the last few weeks before you take the bird and put it in the pot. There's a whole process to it, and that'll be my next video or two. Okay, I hope everybody got something out of that, and happy farming, people, and until next time, this is Alan with Themis Farms.